Welcome to the latest edition of the CCL Player Shoutout, brought to you by the Varsity Voices Media Network. I'm Dan Frevaletti, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Joe Frevaletti. On this episode, we are pleased to be joined by St. Francis Spartan lineman Brady Hill. Brady will be a 3-year starter for the Spartans and has committed to play football at San Diego State in 2026. Brady, welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. How you doing?
Good, great. We were talking a little bit before we started. I know you guys practice all summer, but now with a couple days of actual fall practice under your belt, how does it feel to be back at it? If you are looking to buy or sell a home, contact Remax Realtor and Circle of Legends recipient Christopher Cobb. Let Chris's extensive negotiating experience work to guide you on all of your real estate buying and selling needs. Contact Christopher now to discuss the right strategy for your personalized real estate buying and selling plan. His number is 630-420-0070, or you can visit his website at christophercobb.com.
Feels good. First 2 days just been helmets only. Kind of just knocking a little bit of rust off that we had from the dead week, but everything's back up to speed and we're feeling good. So pads start tomorrow.
All right, good. And so I wanted to ask you, Brady, most linemen, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, I don't know when you started playing football, probably when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that. But did you start as a lineman or did you start at some other position and you've morphed into the lineman you are today?
So it's funny, my whole life I've kind of bounced around positions. The only position I've never played is corner. I played every position on the field besides that. So when I was younger, I was a lineman, and then around I think 11U, I played up because of weight. I didn't want to be in a weight class, so I played up so I didn't have to. There's like no weighted or whatever. I actually became like a tight end and like a linebacker, even a little bit of safety, and then I switched teams over to the Naperville Chargers, if you guys know what that is.
Sure.
And then I became a lineman again. But then I tried to be a quarterback because it was always my dream, and played a little bit of quarterback freshman year. But then coach called me into his office, was like, "Hey, you're like already 230, you're gonna be at least like 265 after the weight room this year." He's like, "You might want to think about switching positions." I was like, "Yeah, I knew that talk was coming." So
Yeah, yep. All great ones that happens to Brady. we all think we can play quarterback at some time or another, but
exactly.
and building on that, you got time on both sides of the ball in the past, so
Mhm.
offense and defense, and will that be the plan again this year? And if so, what does that mean for your preparation, and how hard is that?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it takes a lot more film work because you're not only watching film for the offensive side, you're also watching film for the defensive side. But it's funny because I started on when sophomore year when I got pulled up, I was more of a defensive player. That's what I played. I started on defense, and then kind of last year, around middle of the season, just due to injury and stuff, I kind of started playing more offense, or I think like around week 3 or 4. But I actually then that's when I felt like I was better at offense. I liked offense more. Um, and so, but yeah, I mean, this year probably this more of the same. I don't think I'll start on defense, which is nice. They're trying to kind of keep people separate this year as much as they can. We don't have that much depth, but the little bit of depth we do, they're trying to separate. So it's nice because it gives me a little more time to take a break.
Yeah, it's always tough especially for linemen going both ways. For on the football field is a challenge as it is, and to do it on the line is always really difficult. But you said you prefer the O line out of the two.
Yeah, I do. I used to prefer D line, and then kind of just as time went on, and then just starting to play both sides more. I just kind of felt like offense is better because I like it because you know exactly what you're doing. Like you get the play call, you're like, all right, I'm blocking this guy. Like the worst thing that can happen is a linebacker flows over to a certain side, but even then you're just saying one guy's bumping off the double team and the other guy's staying. So there's not a whole lot that changes. For the most part, you know exactly what you're doing. You don't have to think of a different move every time or a secondary move like you do on defense. It's a lot less I mean, it's still reactionary, but it's a lot more controlled.
So I did go out and look at a couple of the recruiting sites, Brady, and one of the things I noticed in all of them is that they talked about you as an offensive lineman, and they mentioned the word mauler. They say he's a mauler. So if I had been an offensive lineman or were an offensive lineman, I would love to be described that way as a mauler. How much do you lean into that, and how much do you like being described that way?
I mean, I like it. I mean, the way I always see it is when I go out there, I just want to try to hit people as hard as I can. Like that's obviously that's what a lineman's supposed to do. But when I have someone lined up against me, I'm trying to just push them as long as you can to the end of the whistle. Like there's one play last year where I literally took a guy from like one side. Was lined up as left guard. By the end of the play, he was on like the right side of the line because he was like stunning that way. I literally just took him to the opposite side of the line. So, I mean, it's
Sure.
stuff like that. That's just what's fun because then you go back and watch on film and you just see a guy going across the entire play, and you're just like, oh, that's me. So it's fun. I like that. But
Yeah, that's always that's how linemen have to get recognized, right? It's like those
exactly.
plays where you can block someone off the screen and do those little things that fans and sites like us don't necessarily notice all the time. So good for you. But you've been at St. Francis now that you're going into your senior year. What has or how has St. Francis prepared you both on and off the field for the next step?
I mean, it's St. Francis is awesome. I always say it's the best decision I've made yet in my life. I mean, in the classroom, first of all, I mean the teachers are amazing. The atmosphere is great. The class size isn't huge because we only have under 800 kids in the school. I don't know if you guys know we're a blue ribbon school, which is something like top 1% in the nation. And it's great. Like people I've talked to that have graduated, like for example TJ McMillan, who's now at Illinois. Like he says Illinois compared to even St. Francis. He's like Illinois is easier, and Illinois is not a easy school by any
No.
means. Um, so first of all, in the classroom, it's amazing, and then the for on the football side of things, Coach Bob does an incredible job, not only preparing us for games and getting amazing coaches to come in. Like our staff is filled with guys that are have at least played at the collegiate level. Some guys that have played at the pro level. Um, but Coach Bob also does a great job like bringing guys in like in the off season. Like for example, I'm committed to San Diego State. I would have never even talked to or probably even reached out to San Diego State if it weren't for Coach Bob. I mean, they came and saw me in like January, I think, and we just stayed in touch. And I mean, that's how all my visits were besides like Montana State because I was targeting them. But besides that, like all my other visits, all the coaches I talked to is because Coach Bob brought people into the school. Like I probably had at least 50 coach meetings, like from spanning from December to February. I mean, Coach Bob just does an unbelievable job, and like I said, on the field too, and feeding us, fundraising, our jersey, everything from equipment. I mean, it's an unbelievable program.
That's great. It's really good to hear. I mean, we've talked about the program at St. Francis, and we know it's top notch, Brady. So it's good to hear you talk about it as well in that same way. What did your off-season training look like this year, Brady? What any specific areas you were working on to improve your game this year?
Yeah. So, first of all, like in the weight room and with eating as well and like dieting and stuff. This year, I kind of told myself I want to get as heavy as I can without losing speed. So I'm up to about like in between 285, 290 right now. Kind of fluctuates right in there. Um, I felt like that was as big as I could get before I started to lose speed. But yeah, I mean, just working hard in the weight room a lot this off season. Our defensive coordinator and strength coordinator, Coach Jerry McGriff, he does a great job. Plans workouts, so we have like 4 lifts each week. So he does a great job with that, and then also sometimes lifting on the weekends and whatnot. Maybe like a lighter lift, not overdoing it though. And then a lot of speed training as well. Coach Hector, I train with him. He's now in Oswego. He does a great job. It's like explosiveness and speed, and that was big for me this off season because sometimes I get like over my feet and like I'll do like a little too much. So staying more under control, but also like knowing how to use your explosiveness. So that was big for me. So I did like 5 a.m. workouts twice a week with him. And then offensive line training, I go to Kevin Sabo. You guys might know who that is, Fist Academy.
Mhm.
And he does a great job over there. He worked a lot this year on my hands because I needed to work a lot on my hands, and then also just balance. So, but yeah, I feel really good going into the season. I feel like I'm a lot better than I was last year, which is I know how it should be, but it feels really good.
Good. When you hear anybody talk about offensive line, they always talk about the chemistry and the communication between
hmm
the offensive linemen. So, other than you, Brady, who else, the other four guys there, who are you counting on and who are you communicating with as far as the other four guys are concerned?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of offensive linemen, especially this year. It's pretty much the same, except we moved. We have a sophomore that came up, and then one of the tackle that played next to me, our left tackle, Cooper Poxis, they're making him a defense like primarily guy. So they bumped our center to left tackle, and then the sophomore's up at center. So, but it's the sophomore at center. He's really good. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart kid, and obviously he has me, and then our other guard's a junior, Frankie McMillan. So we're able to help him whenever he needs it. And then my left tackle who plays next to me is Matt Anderson, who's absolutely amazing. His technique is through the roof. If he was just a little bit bigger, he'd be going big. But yeah, so he's awesome. He knows his stuff every play. And then our right tackle is another sophomore, Matty Rubino. Um, and he does a great job as well. He's also big, knows what he's doing, good technique. I'm confident in this group. It's a little young. I mean, it's two seniors, a junior, and two sophomores, so it's kind of young, but I'm confident. We got a good group, so it'll be good.
That's good. That's good. It sounds like you guys are coming together. You mentioned San Diego State, and congratulations on your commitment.
Thank you.
That right there tells me that you're smart as you get to enjoy the coast and the environment and that environment for the next several years. And while not unheard of for players in this area to go to San Diego State, it's kind of refreshingly outside the norm. What drew you to that program?
Um, so I mean, first talking to the coaching staff out there is amazing, and they're young. The coach that came in to talk to me was Coach Barton, Coach Zach Barton. He's a special teams coordinator out there, and I mean, he's just a great guy. Like there was one time where I'm walking in the airport with my mom. I think it was for the camp, so it was after the junior day. It was for the camp, and we're walking in the airport, and I said, "Watch." I said, we're walking in the airport. I text him. I say, "Watch. By the time we reach this corner up here, which is probably only 50 steps away," I said, "By the time we reach this corner, I'll get a text back." And sure enough, I had a text back right away before even like probably 20 seconds later. That's just the kind of coaching staff they are. Absolutely love it out there. I mean, like I tell everyone, it's San Diego State or it's San Diego. Like, what is there not to like? It's 75 and sunny and beautiful weather. But I mean, no, I mean, it was really just the coaching staff that drew me in and then just kept talking, kept that communication line open. Went out there for a junior day. Absolutely loved it. Got to know more of the coaches. Got to see more of the campus, the team, how they mesh. And then, yeah, so then when I went out there for the camp, I performed well enough to earn a scholarship. And about 3, 4 days later, I committed. So felt great.
That's good. So we know how tough the Chicago Catholic League is, Brady, and week in and week out, every game. What is it like competing in that type of environment every week for every game?
I mean, I personally love it because I feel like it prepares you a lot for the next level. Kind of like I was saying earlier in the classroom, how our classroom prepares us a lot for the next level. It's the same thing on the field with our competition level. Um, like my freshman year, we were in like the Metro Suburban. I forget exactly what it was called, but it was something like that. And it fell apart after we left because all the other teams kind of left and went their own ways. But like even from freshman year to sophomore year, that jump of competition, like it was eye opening. Like you can really see the level you're playing, and it was big for me too because like when I would go to college camps, the summer camps, um, you could even tell there like you knew the competition level was different. But yeah, the preparation week in and week out, it's definitely a grind. Like this year, like each year we try less and less to be in like we try to be in pads less each week, just because of injury and just trying to keep your body healthy. Because there's no weeks off. It's not like, oh, this is an easy game. Like even when you think it may be an easy game or lighter game, then it's not. That's exactly when you get hit in the mouth. So there's never a time you can just coast. You always got to have pedal to the metal.
So tell me, who's the toughest player within the Chicago Catholic League that you've gone against, Brady?
The toughest player I think I've ever gone against. I forget the kid's name from Loyola. He went to Washington State though, I'm pretty sure. And then another kid, obviously Gabe Kaminsky, who was at NAS. He was definitely a really good player, and he was tough to go against because he was playing anywhere. Like he'd go at D tackle, he'd go at D end, he'd go at middle linebacker. Sometimes he'd go at outside linebacker. So he was all over the place, and his combination of strength and speed was always hard to block. So I'd say those are the two toughest players I've gone against.
So speaking of NAS, last year you guys
Yep.
came really close to the state finals. You reached the semifinals. How has that helped you provide, or how has that helped provide motivation for you during the off season?
Yeah, I mean it's fueled us. It fueled us my junior year because we lost to him sadly twice in a row now. Each year I've kind of been fueled by playoffs because all 3 years I've been there, we've come up short in the semifinals. So this year it's really big, especially to my senior class, who's gone through it 3 times now. Um, and I think a big thing is, especially last year, is it just gets in your head, like you're playing NAS again, you're at NAS again, you're in the semifinals again, you're trying to break the the jinx or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called, the word, but so I think it was always kind of just a head game. So our senior class came up with like a new motto of kind of like what to work by and what to live by for this upcoming season, just because we need to focus on ourselves more than the other teams, and we get too caught up in the rankings and this and that, and we've all come together and said, hey, we just need to. This is our group right here. Let's focus on our group. Let's do what we need to do, and let's make a run at this thing. So
what games do you got circled on the calendar for this season? Is it every game, Brady, or anything in particular?
I mean, you always got every game circled because you always want to win every game. And I've learned, especially throughout the last couple of years in the CCL, it's 1 week at a time. You can't look ahead to 1 week. Like last year, I remember we beat Loyola and our whole team was going crazy and we thought we were on top of the world. And then like the next week, 6 days later, 7 days later, we get smacked in the mouth by Rita. And we're like, okay, well, we're still playing football. So I'd say the games if I had to circle some though, I'd say definitely Loyola because we're still trying to take them down again and prove that we can play at that level. It's another kind of prove them wrong kind of game. And then I'd say Rita, since we lost to him last year, it's kind of like a revenge game for us. We beat him my sophomore year and lost to him last year, so I'd like to beat him one more time on our way out, and then obviously, you guys all know what the third one's going to be.
It's got to be NAS.
Nazareth
right?
Academy. Yep.
Yeah,
So
right.
we'd love to beat them again. But I mean, good thing is usually we're fine in the regular season. It's the playoffs where we struggle. So,
Sure.
I mean, we beat them twice in the regular season and lost twice in the semis. So, but no, so definitely then week 9, as a final goodbye, I'd love to hit them hard there because since they're in 6A now, I believe, so we won't play them in playoffs anymore. But love to beat them week 9 as our final goodbye. So
It's always good to have a couple rivalries. You need something. People I think don't understand that even in high school that not every week is all that easy to get up for. To have those games that you can circle and kind of red letter, that always helps with the motivation to get through the grind of the season. So that's good. I'm sure you guys will represent very well this year. So I'm expecting big things. Brady, you talked about being a big guy all the time and going back to youth football. some guys are naturally big, and some guys who play line, they lose it immediately if they don't maintain it. I'm guessing I know which group you belong to. Is it easy for you to stay big, or do you have to work at it?
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy for me to stay big. Like even during summer, like some guys will lose up to 10, 15 pounds during summer camp. Um, and for me, I lose maybe 5. I retain it very well, but it's also has a big thing to do with my hydration and how I eat. Like I try to eat so from sophomore year to like senior year and even junior year. I've learned like eating's a big part of it, and it's what you eat. Like you can't just eat crap because A, it doesn't stick, and B, it doesn't fuel you well. And also staying hydrated. I mean, I think that's a big thing for me is I drink plenty of water. Like when I get home from practice, I have like this big gallon jug, and I just carry it all around my house now. Like that's just what I drink out of all the time because I've learned that you can't just drink at practice or before you go to bed or whatever. Like it's a whole day thing. So.
So, any particular players, Brady, that you look at or model your game after, whether it's at the NFL level or even the college level, but anybody that you look at that you model your game after?
Yeah, I mean, two guys that I really like to watch and see how they play is Quinton Nelson for the Colts. Obviously guard because I'm a guard right now. But then when I go to San Diego State, I'll be at center. And I also love watching Jason Kelsey. So watching how Jason Kelsey played, I mean, he's one of the best centers to ever do it. And that dude, he wasn't the biggest like me, which is crazy to say, but he wasn't the biggest, and so neither am I, and I accept that. But it just proves that size doesn't matter when it comes to the next level. Like when it's all said and done, it comes down to talent, not size. So that's a big thing for me too that I watch him.
Yeah, and
He's
he started out as a linebacker at Cincinnati, I think, and he couldn't keep losing weight. He kept gaining weight, but they immediately saw that he'd be good at center. So that's a good person to model your game after for sure.
Yeah, both Quinton Nelson's fun to watch. There aren't
Yeah,
many
he is.
old linemen. I mean, there's a lot that you can watch and appreciate, and you watch some guys dominate. Quinton Nelson, from the time he was at Notre Dame, has been a guy who's actually a lot of fun to watch because he does some unique things on the football field. So you had talked about keeping. You can keep your weight on. I've got to ask. So, what restaurants in the Wheaton area do you and the guys go to help keep that weight up?
Well, the ones that we go to after games, we always most of the team usually goes to Canes after the game. Go to support Canes. And then right across the street from us, we have Jersey Mike's and Chipotle. So that helps our cause if we ever get hungry. So, but
Yeah,
then
proximity is key.
yeah, it is. It's
Right.
literally right across the street. You just walk
Right.
over or just drive 2 seconds and you're right there and makes it easy. But no, so those are the ones that as a team, yeah, that's where we're going. So.
All right, so I have one more question for you, Brady. We've done a couple of these episodes with other players within the Chicago Catholic League. I've asked them the same question. So I want you to finish this sentence, Brady. St. Francis football this season is going to be what?
They're going to be undefeated, and we're going to be a team that's going to go out there and we're going to play our hearts out all 4 quarters, and we're not going to let off the gas. We're a talented senior class that on offense will hit you through the air and will smash you on the ground, and then on defense, we're a team that's going to shut you down. So I really like what we got this year. We have a great senior class. Our junior and sophomore class are just as good, and I like where we're at this year. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Good.
Well,
Awesome.
Brady, this has been great. We've loved having you on. It's great to have a lineman on. We had quarterbacks on, so it's good to get the O line represented. But
Yeah.
we want to wish you good luck and good health this season, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for listening and watching. This has been another CCL Player Shoutout brought to you by the Varsity Voices Media Network. Find us wherever you get your podcasts and on all the major social media platforms. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. and we will talk to you soon.